Well, shit.
What are y'all doing? This
This
is
is
awful.
awful. I'm Deontay,
I'm Jordan.
and welcome to our very first podcast. Thank you. Today we will be covering Child's Play 1 by creator Don Mancini. Why Child's Play, you might ask? I'm making her watch the new Child's Play series that's premiering next month,
I
October
agreed
12th.
willingly. What you mean?
Yeah, I had to bribe her to watch it with me. But so to get her all caught up on the lore and everything like that, we're just gonna rewatch the movies, kind of break them
Because
down.
he doesn't trust that I will remember what happened in each one.
Well, not only that, we didn't watch all of them.
Mm.
We
We
didn't.
watched that. We watched Child's Play 1.
Yeah, we watched Child's Play 1, but you and I both know you didn't remember that movie because that was like what, in 2019?
How you know? How you know I didn't remember?
Man, you don't remember anything. So we're gonna be covering the series. Each episode, I'll give you a breakdown, give our thoughts and opinions. She's gonna be a Child's Play Chucky pro by the time the series gets here, and it's getting here pretty fast. So we're gonna get her all caught up and everything. So Child's Play came out in what, 1988.
Mm-hmm.
It sold really well. I think it was the second highest grossing film that year behind Nightmare on Elm Street 4. So Chucky, or Child's Play, excuse me, is story about a single mother and her son. She gets him a highly popular doll at the time called
Good guy! I knew it! I knew you'd get me one!
she got it from someone in the alley. What she didn't know was that the doll was possessed by the serial killer Charles Lee Ray. So obviously bodies start popping up, and no one believes her 6-year-old son that it's the doll.
Now listen to me, okay?
Nobody believes you about Chucky.
We later find out that in order for Charles Lee Ray to get his soul out of the doll, he has to transfer it to the first person he told he was actually alive, which was Andy. It's basically a race against Chucky to stop him from killing Andy. They succeed by shooting him in the heart. And that's the end of the movie. So, did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it, and I talked a lot of shit in the beginning, but I appreciated going back and watching it a second time.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first time, I don't know, I always have to watch stuff more than once to really understand it. I have
And
to like watch it if there's no book, read about it online, and then watch it again before it clicks in my head. So this time I really enjoyed it.
so much went into making this movie. You know the part where he electrocuted the psychiatrist.
Yep.
He put the thing on it. They said to push the
Yeah.
button, it took him 47 takes because it kept messing up. Like his finger kept breaking out of the mold or whatever, and it was messing
Oh,
up.
for real?
Yeah, so it took him 47. Like nobody
So
knows.
that actor just had to stay on the ground and keep acting like he was getting electrocuted?
No, no, no,
Or
no, no, no.
what?
Well, no, they probably shot his because they cut this up, right? So they shot him doing that, and then they shot the scene with the animatronic, and then they just kind of like put them together. So he wasn't there the whole
Okay.
time, but it took him a long time to just get that one take, which is why they brought in
Ed
human
Gale.
Ed Gale. They brought him in to fill in for the roles that the animatronic couldn't do.
Right. Yeah, you were telling me about that the first time we watched it, how some of it was animatronic and some of it was real people. Because there was Ed Gale, who was the little guy,
Mm-hmm.
grown up actor. And then at one point, they just had Andy's actual little sister play.
They put it in for like a scene or
Yeah,
two.
she just had to like run across the room at that part where Aunt Maggie was babysitting. She just ran across the room.
And with all the scenes with Ed Gale in it, and since he was like bigger than Chucky, they had to make the set that he was in
Uh-huh.
30% bigger.
Yeah, they had to blow it up so that it would still look to
No,
the same scale.
they built a bigger set. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
yeah, they did that just to make him seem smaller compared to The Room. And he said he was, I watched an interview, he said he was never on scene with a human. They always shot his scenes separate because he would not, he would look, it would look weird for the
Right.
human to be in that environment as opposed to just him. So none
Right.
of his
That
scenes,
makes sense.
none of his scenes,
They actually set that man on fire too. I don't know how to feel about that.
and they dropped him. Did you read that?
Yes.
They dropped him
Yeah,
like
he
6 or
had
8
back
feet. Yeah,
problems.
yeah, he had back problems. They dropped him too. What kind of shit is that?
I wonder how much he got paid for this, because ain't no way.
So
I would have needed a second check.
not for real though. Like I have the original script that I got signed by Andy Barkley, and remember we read
Okay, flex then. Flex and say it again.
so I was reading like the first page, and the opening scene is different. It was actually Detective Norris in heels and a dress because Charles Lee Ray was he was strangling women, so he was out
Uh-huh.
pretending to be a woman,
Uh-huh.
and he was gonna try to strangle him, and then he was like, surprise, bitch, surprise, it's the police.
I wonder who read the script and it was like, nah, this ain't it,
No,
fam.
oh,
Like,
I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good point. So Don Mancini wrote this when he was at UCLA. He was still in college,
oh,
and
okay.
his roommate was, I think, a senior. If I remember the story right, his roommate was a senior. He gave it to him, and the dude ended up like passing it on to somebody, and it eventually got to somebody who um who like was big in movies, and
Mm-hmm.
they told him, hey, Steven Spielberg, or I think it was somebody else, was going to make a movie with that name, and so he thought to change it because the original name was going to be called Batteries Not Included. That was going to
Right.
be the original name, so he changed it
Uh-huh.
to Blood Buddy, and
Eh,
they rewrote his script. When you say you who wrote it and said this ain't it, they definitely
Uh-huh.
said this wasn't it, and so they brought in other people to rewrite the script. Like the whole voodoo thing, that wasn't his idea. He hated it.
I read that too. He didn't want that part in there.
Nope, he didn't
And
want it.
also, they said that there's another Child's Play movie too that came out before this one. There's a Child's Play that came out in 1972. So I'd be pissed off. Like, y'all made me change my original name because there was a movie. I guess that one was much bigger.
Yeah,
They changed the name just for it to be the name of another movie that came out before this one.
right. And I don't even think that movie came out called Batteries Not Included. Which I'm dead serious. I've never heard of a movie called Batteries Not
Right.
Included. But I think
Congratulations, you played yourself.
played yourself. But I think that Child's Play is a better name anyway. Don Mancini took his inspiration from Nightmare on Elm Street, from Freddy, because Freddy
Mm-hmm.
was cussing, talking shit to all his victims, and
Uh-huh.
that's why Chucky doing the same thing, and they
Uh,
wanted and they wanted Chucky to be like this little Terminator, so they wanted him to just keep coming. And you see it in the movie. They burnt him up. He was still alive. They shot his body parts off. He was still alive. That was intentional. They wanted him to be like a little Terminator, like he to just keep coming.
right. I feel like that part's not explained enough though, because the voodoo guy told him that he's becoming more and more human, and they had already shot him in the heart. So why did he keep?
They didn't shoot him in the heart to the end.
Oh,
That's
they
what
shot his head off.
they shot his head off. She shot his leg off. She shot his arm off. That she missed his heart.
What about how do you feel about the backlash that it got about it being targeting kids and promoting violence to children and stuff like that?
And I I guess because it was kind of like, I guess it was in a way, because Don Mancini said he wanted it, like, because Cabbage Patch was real big that he
Uh-huh.
wanted to write something that was like evil Cabbage Patch. So he was kind of going for that.
Right. It was like satirical,
Yeah, so
however you say that word.
I think that's the right way. But like, who cares though? Like, I don't like, people.
That's what they were saying. Like, if people really believe that this is going to influence children, then they already got issues.
Right, like,
But
so
there was a killing somewhere. It wasn't in the U.S., but there was a killing somewhere where they murdered a girl and they made her listen to the person who killed her made her listen to him say, "Hi, I'm Chucky. You want to play?" over and over and over before they killed her.
did they confess to it? How they know that happened?
I don't know.
Oh, they had to confess to that then.
I was reading about it. I think I saw that one on IMDb. I'm gonna have to go back and double check. But yeah, it said that that was one of the things that they were saying because of the controversy,
And
or one of the things that was influenced by that.
and you know what happened? The studio, United Artists, it said that they didn't pick it up for a sequel because of moral standards or some shit like that.
Yeah. And who is it that took over Universal? They was like, all right, we'll take it.
So they actually, so United Artists got sold to Quintet Group, right? And check this out. They didn't want the Child's Play brand, right? So they sold it. They basically the director, I mean the producer David Kirshner, they still had him under contract to produce more movies because he was with United. So if they sell United and you're under contract with United, now you work for Quintet. So they were still
Uh-huh.
under that, he was still under them, but they still had some kind of contract, and they wanted to make good. They wanted to stay in good standards with him. So guess what they did? They just gave him the
What?
franchise. They just gave David Kirshner the franchise. They just like, here, we don't want it, it's yours. And then Steven Spielberg, one of the biggest producers, called him and said, "Hey, I know a lot of people calling you about this. Give Universal the first shot." And he was like, "Okay, yeah." And so Universal, they've been with Universal ever since. So let's talk about some things that I didn't like about the movie. Okay.
Okay.
For one, Andy was kind of a jerk. Okay, waking his mom up at 6:30 in the morning after he knows she been slaving because she is a single parent, and here he come with that bullshit.
Man, you think he understand all of that at 6 years old?
Yes,
He's a kid. Kids don't understand
man,
that.
man,
He was trying to get on good terms with his mom. That's all.
man. I'm not trying to hear all that. Look, he understood enough, but it wasn't all bad because right after that, she hit that man with the fattest L that you can take on your birthday. And he thought he was getting a good guy, dog. She hit that man with some school clothes
Why would she put the clothes in that kind of
in that big
package?
old box.
That could have been in a gift bag.
Look,
Made that man pull back wrapping paper
look,
just to open up some pants.
I ain't gonna do my children like that. I'm not giving you no clothes in gift wrapping. I'll put that
Right. That's what I'm saying. You put that in a gift bag. All they gotta do is that paper off.
All right, so let me ask you this. Remember that scene I was telling you to pay attention to?
Uh-huh.
Was it not everything? And by the scene I'm talking about is when uh Catherine Hicks, which is Karen Barkley, when she takes the doll home and she's questioning it,
This
trying
is
to get it to talk.
after
No, this
this
is
is after Andy goes to the mental institution or whatever you call
right
it.
after they left the police station.
Right, because
She
he
took,
keeps saying that it's Chucky. So they're like,
and
he's
Chuck
mentally unstable.
and Chucky played the fuck out of him too. Chucky did
And
a
Chucky
dirty.
was
Hey,
fucking with her, and he knew it too.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi ho! Ha ha ha! Mommy, he's doing it on purpose.
and he said he's doing it on. Yeah, Chucky knew what he was doing. See,
Because he was like, come on, man, talk. And then Chucky just talking about, hi, I'm Chucky.
see,
Like,
see,
I did what you said.
he understood that. He understood what was
Yeah.
happening in that moment. So
Yeah.
he ain't as slow as you want him to think. So Chucky was fucking with him in that
I know
police.
you're not going all the way back to the 6:30 a.m. thing.
Yes, I
just
am.
because of that.
So you mean to tell me he understood that in that moment that Chucky was playing with him, but he can understand that his mom is tired after she done worked them long shifts. All right, I'm off that.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
I'm off of it. I'm off of it.
Anywho, back to
Anywho,
the
so
scene.
so she takes him back. She takes Chucky back to the house, and then she's trying to get him to talk. And then you can kind of see how like this is what I'm looking at. Like when she first was saying talk, and then like it wasn't happening, and then you could tell she was concerned. She was hoping, and then when he didn't talk, she was like, "What am I doing?" You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm losing it.
Right.
And that's when she sits him
Right.
down. She goes to the box, and batteries fall out.
Yeah. Like just when she convinced herself again that it
Yeah.
couldn't be right,
And
then here come another part of the plot.
and then like the way the batteries drop, and she then like she look up, and then they turn the camera back because at first it's like she's standing there with the box, and then you can see Chucky behind her, but he's like blurred out. And then when
Uh-huh.
she dropped the batteries, you expecting to pan back over, and Chucky is gone because he hear the batteries drop, and he would probably just run off, but he's still there.
Uh-huh. He's still trying to convince her that it's her, that she's losing her mind.
And then she get over there, she turn him over. Hi, I'm Chucky. You want to play? Again, that was a nod to The Exorcist when his head turned around. And
Uh-huh.
then she gets him up from up under the bed. I mean, up under the couch. And then she was like, "All right, man, look, I'm done playing these games with you. Talk to me, damn it, us. I'm gonna throw you in the fire." And it was so good the build up because we hadn't seen him move like that until that scene, like until that
Right.
one scene. And it was actually the original plan was we weren't supposed to find out, we weren't supposed to see Chucky in full motion till like the third act, like at the very end of the movie. He was
Yeah,
supposed
because
to be.
they wanted us to believe that it could have been possibly Andy doing it all. It was
What
supposed to be more suspenseful.
what did I say? What did I say about Chucky when Andy what Andy said about Aunt Maggie was
He
a
said,
bitch
"Hey,
and she
Maggie
got
is a bitch."
yeah, she was being a total bitch to him.
She was abusing that little boy. Why she kept slamming him into the bed like that when she
Oh,
was like, "I said it's time for bed."
right,
Like,
all because he wanted
damn.
to watch the news.
Right.
Like, man, trying to
And
get
then
his
she told Andy to go brush his teeth, and he in there brushing his teeth like she said, and she snatched him up out the bathroom and throw him back in the bed.
like, look, that's the type of shit now. Like, you be having those hidden cameras in the
Them
house,
nanny
them nanny
cams,
cams. You
yeah.
catch your daddy doing some shit like that. Like, hey, you got
Yes, picking
nah.
picking the kid up by one arm.
I didn't feel no sympathy when Chucky knocked the ass out that window. Just
Yeah.
being honest. Keeping along with the theme of the show, this is awful. We're gonna pick. Each one of us will pick one thing in this movie that was just god awful that we could not stand, even though we both thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I can say that, right?
Oh yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
So for me, I'll go first. The most awful thing about this movie, I hate to say it, was that breakfast that Andy cooked for his mother. That was the worst fucking breakfast I've ever seen. He was not trying. I know y'all gonna say,
Let the
well,
boy
I
live.
know y'all gonna say, oh, he's a kid, but come on. Ain't no kid seen nobody put all that butter on that burnt toast. That didn't
Or
even look.
3 whole cups of sugar in some cereal. I would have to say the worst part for me was that dramatic ass first kill, Aunt Maggie falling out the window. So you mean to tell me that from the blow of a child's hammer, she stumbled that hard through the kitchen that she broke the glass and fell out the window? She stumbled
Yes.
that hard from that type of hit?
Yes. That
Come
hammer
on now.
that hammer had some weight to it. You didn't hear when
Come
Andy
on
was
now.
that hammer had some weight to it. You didn't hear when Andy was clicking that thing like on that.
That hammer weighed less than 1 pound. And Chucky is a 3 foot doll. There is no way his little 1 foot stubbly arms could have gave that much force with a child's hammer to knock her across the kitchen and out of a window.
And also, she was shocked. She was looking at a doll standing on the counter. So
Okay, she could have stumbled back and maybe like hit her head and knocked out, and then he could have killed her a different way. There's no way she go ahead, go walk backwards to your glass window and see if you fall out.
well, this was the 80s. They cut corners back then. That probably wasn't even real.
Man, I
But
don't
look though,
believe it.
okay, you don't believe it, but you can't say it wasn't like a nice kill though. Like
Nope, I
it
don't
wasn't.
like
You
it.
don't like it?
That
All
was
right.
awful.
Oh, okay. Well,
It was awful.
well, that's you have that right to be wrong. Who am I to stop you?
Oh, wow, I have a right to be wrong.
I'm just
You over here criticizing a 6-year-old about a breakfast, but can't understand why I'm saying that's unrealistic.
that is exactly correct.
If she ran into a glass, just a glass you drink out of, she wouldn't even broke that.
No regrets. No regrets. So that's going to be the end of today's episode. We want to thank any and everyone who listened. You made it all the way to the end. Please stay tuned. We will be covering Child's Play 2 and then Child's Play 3 and then so on and so on. And again, if you want any up to date on covering the Child's Play series, you know, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Come by to YouTube if you're hearing this on Spotify or Apple or what is Apple Podcast? What do they call those? I forgot. I had it too.
I have no
If you're
clue.
on Apple, come by YouTube channel. Come by. This is awful. Follow us on TikTok. This is awful 03. Same thing for Instagram. Jordan, sweetheart, you have anything to say to the people?
No, that's it. I'm done. Thank
This
y'all for listening.
this is the end, friend. Goodbye. Good night.